I think I'm going to need to push the hockey stuff to tomorrow because we have some baseball news to discuss. I think I'm going to try and hold off on the yelling until the end of this. Before I go into what I'm actually going to talk about, I have to talk about some actual news involving the channel. I should be getting tomorrow. I just ordered on Amazon, and apparently they're doing some sort of prime shipping thing, so it should be coming in tomorrow. I should be getting a brand new webcam, so I should be able to hook that up to my computer, and when I hook that up to my computer, I can finally use my good microphone as opposed to the mic that's been on my phone. I can use my I can actually have my phone on access while I'm recording my videos, and I should be getting all that coming in tomorrow, and then I'll be able to set up a place where I can have my desk, a computer, and I will be able to have a much better setup for doing these videos. So that's something that's going to be good starting hopefully tomorrow. That might end up being Friday's video. There aren't going to be any videos this weekend unless I pre-record them because I'm going to be going on a mini vacation. The point of this video is the Cubs have broken me. The Cubs have broken me, and unfortunately, I can't pull up the statistics to show it. But the Cubs have broken me, and I'm going to have to try to remember all the stuff off the top of my head that I've looked up over the last couple of days to show how much they've broken me. And I will put stuff on the screen. I haven't done any pictures or video editing of that caliber so far. I will, though, today. I will do that today because people need to know what the heck is going on with this freaking team. Okay? First off, the Chicago Cubs last night lost a game against the Milwaukee Brewers. In that game, they lost the game 2-1. The Milwaukee Brewers had 2 hits in the game, and they scored 2 runs. The Cubs had 6 hits and scored 1 run. In the 9 innings the Cubs played yesterday, they left 12 runners on base. And they lost the game by 1 against the Brewers, a team we're trying to catch in the standings going into trade deadline month. How are you going to look at me and tell me that that is a team that can contend for even a playoff spot, God forbid, winning a pennant, when we leave 12 runners on base? 12! How do you do that? How do you leave 12 runners on base and only score 1 run? I don't understand. So that game, we were 4 games back in the standings before that. That pushed us to 5 games back. Thanks so much. Last night, I had a tweet, and I put it up, and it just said, I am done with Javier Baez. Because I am. I just am. And I don't care. I do not care that he's a fan favorite of this team. I do not care that he is the only part of this entire organization that is resemblant of the pre-Epstein era. I do not care that Javier Baez hits a lot of home runs. I don't care about that. I don't care that he plays essentially Gold Glove shortstop. I don't care. This is a guy who is top 5 in the league in strikeouts and bottom 5 in the league in walks. He hits homers, and he strikes out a ton. You can be okay with that combo right there, with an all-or-nothing swing, if you also have a guy who takes walks. And he doesn't. He doesn't take walks. He has almost 20 homers so far this season. That's incredible. He hits for power. He's a great isolated power. But he strikes out all the time, and he doesn't even walk. And I compared Javier Baez to Russell Westbrook last night. And Russell Westbrook is probably my favorite basketball player that I personally got to watch of all time. The only one who comes close is Derrick Rose. Russell Westbrook, in that 2017 season where he won the MVP, one of the most impressive individual performances that I have ever witnessed over the course of an entire season by one athlete. What was Russell Westbrook always known for? Bad decision making. That is Javier Baez to me. All the talent in the world. He makes some of the best, some of the best and some of the rangiest plays you will see in the field. And yes, he hits bombs. But when you are coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's your turn to bat, and there are runners on first and second, and there is one out, and your team is down by 1 in the top of the 9th inning, and you have a tendency for striking out. It's so bad. Why are you taking a home run swing on a high fastball against Josh Hader when a single ties the game? I do not remember who was on second base last night in the top of the 9th inning. They could have scored if you got a ball into the outfield on the ground, on a line drive. Anything, and we tie the game. Craig Kimbrell was coming into the 9th. You had the chance to be a rally starter, and by striking out, you became a rally killer. You killed a rally because you chose to take a home run swing when a single ties the game. That's unacceptable to me. That is unacceptable. Statistics are statistics. They are numbers, and they can tell you certain things. They can tell you a lot of different things. In baseball, they can tell you more than most statistics can. But sometimes what they can't tell you is if a player understands the situations in the game. We always praise Javier Baez for his great recognitions on the base path and his great understanding of shit. But a lot of times, what we don't realize is that he's actually a dumbass out there and he gets away with it. The stuff that he does where he's stealing home because he gets picked off on third base and just runs home, and because he's fast enough, he happens to score. That's not him being a genius. And that's something that I've made a mistake of actually being willing to call him a genius before. We call him El Mago and all this stuff. That's not him being a genius. That's him being a dumbass disguised by his athleticism. That whole thing with the first baseman and the Will Craig thing. Do you know why? Sure, you could say he outsmarted him. But do you know what really caught my eye and realized that he didn't know what was actually going on? He doesn't think. What caught my eye and realized he doesn't actually think there, and that he just gets away with this stuff. The fact that as he was running back to home, and as the ball was thrown into the plate, and Contreras scored, and that play against the Pirates, he was signaling safe. There are 2 outs. Just like with Will Craig, who, by the way, got essentially cut from the team for that play. I believe he got designated for assignment and he's now in AAA. Okay? He got cut for what he did on that play. Javier Baez was signaling safe. 2 feet away from home plate. There were 2 outs. If you didn't get to first, the inning was over and the run didn't score. It didn't dawn on me then, but it dawned on me last night. Because Javier Baez has no sense of time and score. Because whether he's in the batter's box or he's running the bases, when he's running the bases, he gets away with it because of athleticism. When he's fielding, a lot of times he can get away with stuff because of his athleticism. But he is a smart fielder. He has good instincts out in the field. But he can get away with it because of athleticism. But when he's at the plate, he only gets away with it sometimes. He only gets away with it when he actually makes contact. But taking a home run swing when a single ties you the game in the top of the 9th inning against an elite closer is frankly unacceptable. The Cubs have stolen my love for baseball this season. The Cubs need something. I'm going to pull up, and I'm going to put right here. What you're looking at is the Cubs' statistics in clutch situations. These are unacceptable. Those are unacceptable. The Cubs have something that they're lacking, and it's something that they had with the 2016 team. They don't have it anymore. They don't have any clutch. They don't have any clutch. We have players who we think are clutch. We have players who have hit walk-offs before. Javi has had big-time home runs. Contreras has had big-time home runs. Bryant's had big-time home runs. But they're not playing like it this year. They're not playing good in clutch-time situations. Who are our two most clutch players during the World Series run? Kyle Schwarber and Ben Zobrist. 100%. Ben Zobrist is retired. Fine, but Kyle Schwarber, to save a couple bucks because he didn't play well in 60 games, Kyle Schwarber is one of the best on-base power hitters in the league. He strikes out a lot too, just like Javier Baez, but he walks! He walks! He's now the leadoff hitter, the thing we've been missing for the last freaking 5 years on this team. We've been missing a leadoff hitter. He is now the leadoff hitter for the Nationals, and he has like 15 to 17 homers in the last 20 days. And I haven't even mentioned today's game yet. I think the Jake Arrieta experiment is over. It's over. It's absolutely over. The Chicago Cubs came into today's game playing against a team they're trying to catch in the standings in their division after losing 2 embarrassing games the 2 previous days. After coming off of 5 straight losses after throwing a no-hitter. And what do? They start the game against a guy pitching in his MLB debut. And they put up 7 runs on him. And he only pitches 2/3 of an inning. 7 runs. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, that's great. That's really good. Nice. Look at that. 7 runs in 1 inning against a guy pitching in his MLB debut. Felt bad for him even. Felt bad for him. His family was there. And what happened next? The Chicago Cubs called out their starter, Jake Arrieta, and they said, "You have been given a 7-run lead. How in the world can you fuck this up?" And the answer should be, you can't. Yet, he did. 2 2/3. 6 runs allowed. He was given a 7-run cushion before he threw a pitch. And the Cubs proceed to blow the game. 1 run against in the first, 5 against in the second, and then 8 against in the fourth. 14-7 after 4 innings. They were up by 7. And within 4 innings, not only were they losing, their lead got thrown back in their face. We are a team with no starting pitching. The best starter we have is Kyle Hendricks, and he is league average. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we can do. Cubs do not score another run on the entire day, and they lose the game 15-7. Now the Cubs are 6 games back of the Brewers in the standings. This is... I don't know if I can keep talking about the Cubs this season. I recognize that baseball is the only sports league that is actively running. But you know what? I can't with this team. Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez, and Chris Bryant are all expiring contracts. If they can't get them to sign extensions, they should not be on this team on August 1st. What in the hell is Jed thinking right now? Does Jed Hoyer think this team can compete for a World Series? Does he think that we're just a starting pitcher away? Because we're not. Patrick Wisdom got hurt in this game. I don't know how long he's out. Maybe the report is out by now for how long he's going to be out. That's our best hitter. Chris Bryant hasn't been a good baseball player in a month. Anthony Rizzo has been on and off the scratched because he's been hurt recently. Javier Baez just homers and strikes out. And he plays a good glove. Jason Hayward is the worst hitter in baseball. And Kyle Schwarber is the best power hitter in the National League. And we have no backup catcher to the point where Wilson Contreras is far and away leading the league in innings caught. This team is a mess. They are a genuine mess. And I know that our schedule, up and coming, has a lot of weaker teams. That's just how false hope gets created. I will not be okay if we let ourselves become the 2017 Kansas City Royals, where we have all these expiring contracts and we don't move them for prospects at the deadline. Do you remember the 2017 Royals? They had won the World Series a couple years ago, and by that point, they had become a worse team. Mike Moustakas, Eric Hosmer, they had so many free agents that offseason. And they chose to not trade those guys away for picks. They traded away Wade Davis. They traded Wade Davis to the Cubs. They didn't trade away any of their hitters. They didn't do it. They didn't trade away any of their best players for picks. And that's why their rebuild is finally getting off the ground, as opposed to being a competent team as of 2 years ago. This team could have been much better in 2019 and even 2020 if in 2017 they would have sold off their best players for prospects to teams that were trying to contend. You have to do that as a small market team. And I know the Cubs aren't a small market team, but if we're not signing these guys to a contract extensions, then we're treating ourselves like we are. I don't know what's happened to GMs in Major League Baseball, but there's some lack of competitiveness. There is some overcorrection in the value of prospects. And teams are unwilling to compete for titles because they're so afraid of giving up prospects. Remember when we all said that trading away Gleyber Torres for Aroldis Chapman was going to bite them in the ass even if they win a World Series? Gleyber Torres hasn't been good. He hasn't been good. If teams aren't going to want Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo and Javier Baez, and they aren't willing to give up great prospects for them, there is a serious problem with the mindset of GMs in baseball. Only the Dodgers want to win. That's what it looks like to me. But that's everything I have for today. This team is a struggle. Yes, they won their World Series. I have memorabilia right there saying it. I have a hat saying it. World Series champions, 2016. It's on my hat. A lot of those players are still here. A lot of the players are still here. Some of them left and came back. Some of them are managing the team. And yet, some of them are hitting 15 bombs in 20 games for the Washington Nationals. That's everything I got for today. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video. It's so long. But I'll see y'all tomorrow.